Hi everyone, it's Tony the vet here, and today I'm very lucky. I'm joined by Hala, one of my favorite patients. Now, Hala has a little bit of a skin condition which is associated with allergies, and over the course of the last couple of years we've been working on trying to improve her skin health because she was very scratchy. So we have a couple of things to consider at the outset when she was quite young. There's environmental allergens, which are things around the house, and there's also the possibility that she had a food allergy, because there didn't seem to be any reason for her doing all her licking, and she was quite bald at one stage on her back end. So what we did was we took a sample of her blood and we sent it away to a special lab just to see what things she may be allergic to. And by a process of elimination, we found out that there are many things that she's not able to eat because that leads to an itch in her skin. So what we do now is we feed her a special diet based purely on the results of the allergy blood samples, just to make sure that she's got everything that she needs in her diet without losing too much hair. So I don't know if you guys can see, but just here there's a little area where the hair is regrowing. So these patches at one stage were quite bald and she was a little bit scratchy. So owing to the fact that we've managed to tailor her diet specifically to her needs, we've managed to improve her quality of life and make her skin less itchy, which has also reduced the need for drugs and medication. So we're actually quite lucky, and I'm really glad that we did this test for her because it's just improved her general demeanour and she's a much happier cat now. So usually Hala's skin's really well under control and she's not scratchy, but very occasionally, because she has a lot of little friends living with her, she's able to access food that she wouldn't normally eat, which can make her have a little scratch. So there's a special liquid we sometimes give her just to control the inflammation and itch, just so she doesn't get into a cycle of licking excessively, because if she does that, she'll break the skin and she'll get a secondary skin infection. So very occasionally we have to give her a little bit of medicine just to stop her itching, which is specific for her condition, which is loosely referred to as atopic dermatitis, which is effectively like having an allergy for your skin. So if we give her this medicine, it stops her itching and we just get her back on her good food that she's used to eating, and that tends to stop her itching. But if we can avoid using antibiotics by treating the root cause, this is much better for her long term. So with Hala, what we had to do, we had to get a volume of blood from her and to send it to a special lab in Holland just to make sure that there wasn't anything that she was particularly allergic to. At the time she was quite young and a little bit more fractious than she is when I'm holding her now. She was a little bit more anxious. So we gave her a mild sedation and then we took a sample of blood. On the basis of those results, they checked for all the different environmental allergens that are out there that she could be allergic to, as well as all the different food sources that she could be allergic to. Most of her issues were around food, so we were able to isolate the foods that she shouldn't eat and then able to tailor a diet to her specific needs, which we've been doing now for the last couple of years, and her general health has improved immeasurably. Sometimes if they're eating a food that they're allergic to, there's inflammation in the intestine, which then manifests as an itch in the skin. If she's itchy, she's going to start licking more and more, which obviously isn't good for her skin. If she breaks the skin, then she's going to be prone to getting a secondary infection. And if that happens, she'll become quite unwell. Skin is a very sensitive organ, so obviously we don't want her feeling agitated and sore because her general welfare will diminish and she won't be a happy cat. So now that we've diagnosed the things that she's allergic to, it's made looking after her a lot more easy and better for her long term, having not to use too many medications on her. As I said, sometimes she is itchy because she'll eat one of her other little friends' food, which she's not supposed to, and this rarely happens, but when it does, it can lead to an itch. And there is a medication that we give her that will help stop her scratching and reduce the need for her to lick and to barber her fur, so she's less likely to have bald patches as well. So occasionally we do have to use that, but usually it's just a case of maintaining her on a good quality food. If your cat is showing signs of allergies or there's certain things that you feed that lead to an itch, there's a chance that it might be that you have to go on a dietary trial. So if you eliminate various protein sources, be they poultry or beef, whatever the case may be, and give it a couple of weeks on a new diet just to see if the skin improves, that would be probably a good starting point. The other reason sometimes cats will lick and barber their hair is if they're stressed or bored. So if they get into a cycle of licking excessively, it's worth examining, is there any other causative issues? So if they're licking excessively, it's a good idea just to check to see if there's any other reasons that they might be licking, like stress, or if there's any new cats in the neighborhood that could be causing them any sort of anxiety. If they do break the skin and the skin becomes red and inflamed, it's also worth going to be ruling out parasites. So if you haven't treated your pet for parasites or given them any medication or had them checked by the vet recently, it's a good idea to take them to the vet and get them checked just to make sure that there's nothing obvious being missed. So when you're considering where your cat might be scratching, if there's an environmental allergen, what we're talking about then is something either in the home like a household cleaner or a detergent, or something outside like a pesticide or weed killer, something like that. So if you have a cat that's itchy, if it's a particular area of their body, so along their back maybe, or something like that, it could be that they've come in contact with the underside of an engine or on fencing or something of that nature, and that's caused an irritation in the skin, and that's why they're licking. So it's worthwhile just being aware of where the lesions are. If it's a more generalized itch where they're licking and they seem to be agitated all over their body, there's maybe more of a chance that it is something that they've ingested that's causing an inflammatory process. Supplementation and multivitamins may be administered as well just to improve their general health and their ability to be able to fight infection. But a lot of these cats, if they do have an autoimmune issue where they do have atopic dermatitis, you're probably going to be trying to find a diagnosis so you can aid the treatment and also have a longer term plan. I hope that's helpful. That's everything from me. See you soon.